so you're Godfather for a while, and then you end up in a team with Val Venus with a great name, Supply and Demand.
I wish they would have did more with that.
Was that you guys that came up with the idea of doing that, or did they come to you and say?
Honestly, it's like them putting me with Bull. When they told me, they say, Vince wants to talk to you. I'm like, all right, here we go. Vince wants to talk to me. Vince goes, change of plans. I'm like, yo, here we go again with this change of plans. He goes, you're gonna have a match, you're gonna lose, and you're gonna be in the RTC. And I said, whoa, no more Godfather? He goes, no, we're gonna call you Goodfather. I'm like, no more hoes? He goes, no more hoes. And then he kept talking. I don't hear anything he's saying. I just kept saying, no more hoes? And he's like, Charles, no more hoes. And what happened is they were turning more PG, and the Val Venuses, and Val was worse than me, what he would say, and the suck it and all that stuff, they had to put an end to it. And Vince would tell me daily, Charles, I'm fighting for you. But it got to the point where I couldn't be on TV on Saturday morning, Sunday morning. I had to be on after 9 o'clock. I couldn't. So when he made me Goodfather, I swear I went in there and said, finish me up. I'm done. Because at that point, wrestling was so fun. I mean, I don't want to do this. Now it's a job again. It was fun. And so he goes, okay, wait, Charles. I'm like, no, finish me up, Vince. Just finish me up. And he goes, okay, well, I'll finish you up, but let's do the small program with me, and then you can go. Well, that small program turned into, okay, well, help me out with you and Bull and you and Val, and they kept me around for a while. And then they put the belts on me, and we beat the Hardy Boys for the tag belts. And I'm like, you son of a bitch. You got me, because I'm not going to leave on them. So I said, soon as they take these belts off, I'm not even saying nothing. I'm leaving. And as soon as they took the belts off, I went and said, Vince, I'm done. And he goes, okay, Charles. Yeah.
I mean, I know the obvious answer here is no hose, but what was it about doing the RTC thing that just was like...
Like I said, I always had another means of making money. So wrestling wasn't about the money. Money's cool, but it wasn't about the money with me. It was about having a good time, being around crazy people that were back then stupid as I was. And it was more about that. So when I wasn't having a good time, I would leave. Papa Shango, they made me leave on that one. Kama, they promised me a Harley. It's the only reason they got me back to come back as Kama, because they gave me a Harley. Well, that's before Vince owned Victory or whatever, that Titan motorcycles. And then everybody started getting bikes. So they would rent bikes and then people would have pink bikes and Sportsters. So Vince says, no more bikes. I'm like, no more bikes? Like the hose, no more bikes? I'm like, well, finish me up. I swear, well, finish me up, Vince. I didn't come back. I wanted to ride a Harley. So if I can ride a Harley, finish me up. He's like, okay, I'm going to do one program. Then he wanted me to do the WrestleMania, the Lawrence Taylor wrestled Bam Bam. He asked me to stay for that and to do a program with Taker with the chain, where I took the urn and made, well, who else but a black guy would take an urn and make a chain out of it? I just start thinking about that.
When you're doing the right to censor stuff, you know, you're with Ivory and Steven Richards, and they were a riot as, you know, they really played it up, because Ivory looked totally different. She, like, dressed totally different. Steven Richards was so irritating in that role. I mean, was it fun to work with them, or even that just wasn't doing it for you?
Unfortunately, I am not a bully. Never have been a bully. But I took out me being in the RTC on Steven Richards, or whatever, Stevie Richards. I took it out on him to where I was a bully. And it wasn't his fault, and I've apologized to him, but I was hard on him, man. I was biker hard on him, because I was blaming him for me being in there, and I was hard. There was this one time where Adam Sandler was doing a scene with the RTC, and I was supposed to speak and out of turn, and Stevie was supposed to slap me and say, you don't talk until I tell you to talk. And I said, okay. Shane McMahon was doing the video. And I reached to Stevie. I was like, Stevie, if you slap me, I'm going to beat the hell out of you tonight when we get out of here. I was like, you slap me. So he would go, and Shane was getting mad because he's doing this. Shane's like, just forget the slap. But see, I'm not that person. I took all that fun I was having out on him. So I was a bully with him, and it wasn't good.
It must have been tough, because for him, that was his big break. That was his moment of being this big name. And for you, you don't want to be doing it. So it's a tough balance.
What we would do, only on house shows, not on TV. So at the end of the match and stuff, Stevie would be like yelling at me, and then I would just turn on him, and me and Bull would, Bull would shoot him into the corner, and then I would wind up, and I'd hit him with that hoe train, and you know that splash in the corner? That looks fun, right? It looks, oh, it's cute. Bradshaw used to say, yeah, it looks cute until he hits you with it. Because you got a 320-pound man running as hard as he can at you, and there's no way around it. I got to hit you. So, yeah, I used to hit him as hard as I could. And, I apologize. Like I said, it's not something I'm proud of.
So the end of Right to Censor was you just saying, I'm done.
Yes.
I don't want to do it anymore.
Yep.
And there was no idea of, like, because they do bring you back as the Godfather the next year, but, like, were you just like, I need some time off? I need some time off?
No, they said we want to try to do this thing with the Godfather. They said we want to try to do this thing with the Godfather. We're going to make it more Godfather light. You're not going to be a pimp. You're going to have an escort service, this and that. And people didn't like it because it was Godfather light. They wanted the Godfather. And so I said, Vince, this ain't happening, man. I was in Vegas. We're doing a show in Vegas. I'm like, let's just finish me up. And he's like, you sure you want to do that, Charles? Because they couldn't use the Godfather the way that they wanted to. And I'm like, yeah, just finish me up. And so I finished up that day.
When you look back on it, 'cause I was watching a clip yesterday where you pinned Triple H on an episode of SmackDown in 2000 as the Godfather. I mean, you were one of the most popular acts on the show. Like, were you able to enjoy, I mean, you weren't able to enjoy it, obviously, but we could see that. But like, were you able to take in at the time how much of a big part of the show that you were?
Of course, yeah. I mean, because I had my own segment. They had on the sheet, instead of this match, it said Godfather segment. And at that time, we're going against WCW, the Rating Wars. And I never lost. Whoever was up against me, I always won. No matter who it was, my segment would outrate their segment. So yeah, I knew. And I was very appreciative too.
Steve Austin, you were on his podcast, Broken Skull Sessions, but you were with him when he broke in, and then you were around when he became Stone Cold Steve Austin. That must have been, what was it like kind of being around him at the beginning, and then the two of you are together when you're having your biggest success?
I knew Steve, but we didn't hang out together. I hung out with Taker back then. But Steve, when he came in, I was already there, and he refused to do a job for me. His first day in, he said, I ain't doing it. And I'm like, another redneck, don't want to get beat by a black guy. He says, no. He says, I didn't come here to lose. He goes, if they're going to beat me, I'm leaving. He goes, I did not come here to lose. And so there you go, we're there. I became more friends with him in the WWE and stuff. But, it's Taker, him. I was part of all that, man. It's cool that things worked out like that for him.
Do you have a favorite Steve Austin story from being around him at the beginning?
No, I didn't. Steve didn't go to strip clubs. We had BSK, okay? We had a group of guys that went to strip clubs every night and didn't miss it. And me and Taker would never miss it. Steve didn't go to strip clubs. I don't know where he went. So he wasn't in our circle. And so I just see him at the building. We're cool. Hey, Bear. He called me Bear. Hey, what's up, Bear? But yeah, we're cool. But we never hung out together. Different lifestyles. We were degenerates.
They would bring you back periodically as the Godfather. You came back for Teddy Long's wedding, where you were trying to convince him to not go legit. I mean, was it just a case that they'd call you and be like, okay, I'll come back and do a Godfather spot?
They just wanted that Godfather pop. That's all they wanted is, bow, 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 and they wanted the pop. That's all. And so they would call me and they'd say, hey, well, we got this kid named Chris Masters, and he's putting everybody in these full Nelsons, and they're giving up. We want to do something where you guys are talking back and forth, and he sneaks up behind you, puts you in you. I'm like, what? You're going to clown me in my own town? I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. And so then they'd call me back with another idea, and I said, no, I'm not doing that either. I told you, I'm not wrestling. And then they would come up, they'd call me with something, okay, how about this? There's no wrestling. And I'm like, okay, I'll do that. It's not that I didn't want to wrestle. I didn't want to get hurt. You can't just get in the ring and start wrestling. You're going to get hurt. You got to, it's like anything. You got to put your time in and get your body back acclimated to that mat.
And you came back in 2013 and did the Royal Rumble, another Godfather pop. It felt like every time you came back, there could have been more. Were you ever interested in doing more, or
no.
were you done?
I was done. I had moved on. Now I'm back. Now I'm actually running my topless club. Now I'm there. okay? And my wife's working there at the front door. She's taking money because I didn't trust people. I mean, there's a lot of money comes through that front door, so I put her at the front door to watch my money. And no, I never really wanted to. No, I was done.
Wade Barrett, the wrestler in Nexus, he started in like 2010, 2011, trying to get this campaign to get Papa Shango in the Royal Rumble.
Oh, really?
And it was for years. Did they ever pitch that to you to come as a surprise?
The year before COVID, or just before COVID, they talked me into. Don't hold me to the order, but it was like I was going to come out as Kama, then I was going to come out as Kama Mustafa, then I was going to come out as Godfather, and then last but not least, I was going to come out as Papa Shango, and I was going to win the whole thing. But COVID or something stopped that whole WrestleMania from happening. I think it was COVID.
You got put in the Hall of Fame a few years ago. Mm-hmm. Did that mean something to you? Is it important? Is it cool for you to go in the Hall of Fame? Do you care about it?
Yeah, of course I care. It means a lot because it's not a normal Hall of Fame. Vince has got to like you to go in this Hall of Fame. So just the fact that they thought enough about me. And another thing, Hall of Fame is about money too. And that's like my characters might not have been the top guys, but it brought in top money. And like my merchandise was right up there with everybody else's, and it's just, it is what it is.
And you got to be part of Undertaker's farewell at Survivor Series, but it was during COVID, so nobody was there. Yeah. What was that experience like? Because it must have been bittersweet for him as well that he's having this.
Honestly, I love that dude. He is not my bro. He's beyond. He's like my real brother. A special moment, man. And when he got inducted, he mentioned my name. I think he said something like influences of his life. But you guys might hear something about Taker that nobody knows. There's nobody filming this, is there? Sorry, Mark. When I met Taker, I'm a biker. I mean, I'm not a pretend biker. I was actually going to become the first black Hell's Angel. That's no joke. And instead of becoming a Hell's Angel, I got into wrestling. So when I met Taker, I'm like, here's one of these big old white boys. And so we riding together, and we get in the car, and then he puts on like Motley Crue and this stuff. I'm like, what the hell are you listening to? You don't listen to country music? I'm like, no, man, you got to listen to country. Then we go to a bar, and he drinks rum and Coke. I'm like, rum and what? I'm like, no, man, we drink Jack and beer. That's what we drink. And then I'm like, dude, you don't even have no tattoos. I got a picture on my phone. I'll show you him getting his first tattoo. So I got him tattooed. And then there was another country music, tattooed, Jack Daniels. Oh, he did not even have a Harley. And I'm like, he's like, well, I don't know. So we took care of that too. We had a guy in Vegas build me one and him one. So, I mean, that dude, I love that dude. After he walked back, I think he said that I've drank gallons and gallons of whiskey with this man, and he has. And when he came back, they had me in the end, and he gave me a hug. He goes, I love you, bro. And he says, you have no idea how much of an influence you were on my life. And so that was cool. But I got him right, though, didn't I?
Were you also responsible for taking him to his first strip club?
No. That was in him already.